Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a super profound and honestly widely misunderstood topic, looking at some really insightful recent source material about the hidden reality of anxiety and depression. To kick things off, I want you to imagine your mind as a grand, sprawling library. From the outside, the building looks completely normal. It's quiet, it's perfectly still. But on the inside, oh man, it is absolute chaos. Thousands of overwhelming volumes of thoughts, worries, and fears are just crashing down from the shelves all at once, and you're scrambling to pick them up before anyone notices. It's this quiet weight. And today, we're going to break down exactly how this functioning anxiety and depression actually operates, and more importantly, how you can start navigating it. So I want to speak directly to you for a second. Have you been feeling this lately? Like, do you wake up, look at a completely empty to-do list, sit on the couch all day, and yet by 5 p.m., you feel like you've literally just run a triathlon? It's a very specific kind of heavy, totally unearned exhaustion. Your physical output just does not match your absolute mental drain, and it leaves you sitting there wondering why on earth you have zero energy. Or, hey, how about this one? You make plans on a Tuesday for dinner on Friday. You're genuinely excited about it, but when Friday afternoon actually rolls around, this massive wall of dread just hits you. You send that so sorry apology text canceling the plans, but instead of feeling relieved, you spend the entire rest of the evening basically punishing yourself with guilt. It's just this completely draining cycle of avoidance and self-reproach. And finally, consider this scenario. You desperately want to explain this heavy weight you're carrying to someone, but the exact moment a friend looks at you and asks, "Hey, how are you really feeling?" your brain just completely short circuits. It goes totally blank. You end up just shrugging and saying, "Yeah, I don't know, just tired." Well, if you're answering yes to any of these questions, our source material confirms a really vital truth for us. You aren't just stressed out, and you definitely aren't overreacting. You're carrying a hidden weight. Now, this hidden weight forces us to really re-examine our broader understanding of mental health. Because, society has kind of conditioned us to view anxiety and depression through this very dramatic lens. We expect the movie scene version, someone having highly visible panic attacks or laying in bed staring at the ceiling for days on end, completely unable to move. But the reality for so many people is entirely different. It looks like functioning. You go to work, you reply to your emails, you even smile at the exact right moments in conversations. But beneath that completely normal exterior, your brain is running a full-blown marathon, constantly whispering that you aren't doing enough. And because you've gotten so used to it, this immense emotional exhaustion just becomes your normal, everyday background noise. And this brilliantly illustrates how this background noise doesn't actually look the same for everyone. In fact, the source breaks down this hidden struggle into 4 distinct phases. We've got the high-functioning person, the numb person, the overthinker, and the deal-with-it-later person, the one who just pushes everything down and distracts themselves, until one day the dam completely breaks. Let's look a little closer at a few of these specific profiles. First up, the high functioner. Now, on paper, this person is absolutely thriving. They get things done, they hit all their deadlines, and to the outside world, their life looks, well, perfectly put together. But the internal reality, it's that every single task, no matter how small, feels like dragging a massive boulder up a steep hill. And honestly, the cruelest part of this profile is that resting doesn't actually feel like rest. Because of that constant background noise of self-doubt, sitting down to just relax immediately translates into guilt. Then we have the overthinker, and right alongside them, the numb person. If you're the numb person, you aren't crying all the time, but you aren't exactly happy either. Your emotions are essentially just buffering, making you feel like you're merely existing. But if you're the overthinker, wow, your brain is in absolute overdrive. You analyze every single tone, you replay every conversation. Someone texts you okay with a period instead of an exclamation mark, and suddenly your brain has written a full-on psychological thriller about how they secretly hate you. Section 1. Why your brain does this? A protective mechanism. So what does this all mean? Why is your mind putting you through this exhausting obstacle course? Well, the amazing truth revealed in our source material is that your brain isn't actually trying to ruin your life. Actually, it's doing exactly what it evolved to do. It's trying to protect you. Think of anxiety as a security guard hired to keep you safe. The problem? The security guard is wildly overprotective. Instead of just looking out for actual threats, he's basically tackling everyone who walks up to the house, including the poor mailman. Underneath that hypervigilant anxiety is usually hidden fear, a deep sense of uncertainty, and just immense pressure. Your brain is literally just trying to shield you from those deeper vulnerabilities. Depression, on the other hand, operates slightly differently. Think of it as your brain hitting the emergency shutdown mode. When everything feels just way too overwhelming, when there's profound exhaustion, profound loss, or chronically unmet emotional needs, your brain just pulls the plug to prevent a total system failure. You get less feeling, less energy, less everything. It's not a character flaw, guys. It is quite literally a system overload.
Section 2. Toxic advice to ignore, not a competition.
Now, if you're dealing with this overloaded system, you have undoubtedly been on the receiving end of some incredibly unhelpful advice. And we really need to actively debunk this toxic positivity. I mean, I'm sure you've heard these gems before. Just think positive, just be grateful, or the absolute classic, others have it so much worse. As our source so humorously points out, if it were actually that easy, we'd all have been cured a long time ago by motivational quotes on Instagram and staring at pretty sunsets. It sounds nice, sure, but it completely invalidates the very real biological and psychological reality of what you're experiencing. Seriously, telling someone with depression to just be grateful is exactly like telling someone with a compound fracture in their leg to just walk it off. Like, is gratitude technically a good thing? Yes, absolutely. Does it cure a broken system? No way. And regarding the whole idea that others have it worse, okay, that might be technically true, but pain is not a competition. You do not win a medal for suffering silently. Your pain is valid, regardless of what anyone else in the world happens to be going through. Section 3. Gentle steps to heal, listen, and understand. So, the crucial point is, what actually does help? If toxic positivity doesn't work, how do we fix this overloaded system? Well, here's the roadmap. Step 1, get curious, not furious. Instead of attacking yourself and asking, why am I like this? Try to stop fighting the feeling. Ask yourself instead, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Step 2 is absolutely vital. Lower the bar. When you're struggling, your brain demands that you do more, but you actually need to do less. And step 3, let one person in. You don't need to broadcast your struggle to the whole world, but letting just one trusted person see the reality of your quiet weight, that can make an enormous difference. And I really want to emphasize what lowering the bar actually looks like here. Progress during anxiety and depression rarely looks impressive on the outside. It's quiet, but it absolutely counts. Getting out of bed? That's a win. Taking a shower? Huge win. Replying to that one single text message you've been avoiding for days? A massive win. And hey, if your brain tries to tell you that you're just being a burden to the person you let in, remember, that is just the anxiety security guard talking. It is not reality. We're going to wrap up this explainer with a really powerful thought from the source material. You are not too sensitive. You are not broken. And you certainly aren't lazy. You're dealing with something that millions of people are quietly carrying while pretending they're perfectly fine. So I want to leave you with this question to reflect on today. What has been weighing on me that I haven't allowed myself to feel? It might be a little scary to answer at first, but remember,